Chapter 7 The Rail Yard. The train chuffed along. Kate thought it chuffed a little faster and more vigorously now that they'd given it more coal. She'd never had a pet, because between them, her parents were allergic to every single animal under the sun. But it felt like she imagined feeding a pet would feel, except that it was a giant metal pet that you rode inside. Snow drifted down through the trees outside, which was very odd considering that it was supposed to be summer, not odder than anything else that was going on. The train kept talking to them. It explained how the throttle worked and showed them where the brakes were. They told them to look out the window. Something was happening there. The tracks were on, split into two tracks, and split again, and those tracks split too. So that in a 1 minute track had become dozens of tracks curving away on either side, and soon they were in a huge open clearing completely filled with darkly gleaming rails like a giant plate of steel spaghetti. Kate and Tom carefully reduced the throttle and applied the brakes, and the silver arrow chuffed and chuffed slower and slower till it gave out a huge steamy sigh and stopped. All around them on the tracks were parked dozens and dozens of train cars, maybe hundreds, of different color and shapes. Some were short and stubby, some were long and lean, some were old and dusty and rusty, while others were shiny and new. It was late, but Kate felt more than awake than she ever had in her life. "This must be the rail yard," Kate said. "That thing the fox was talking about." "He reminded me of Foxy Jones," Tom said. "What do you think we should do now?" They looked at the paper where the train posted its messages, but it was blank and silent. Outside, nothing moved. Lamps cast a spot eerie light over everything and lit up the falling snow in a great white dome. Kate suddenly felt nervous being out in the middle of nowhere like this, with no adults around. But then someone came walking briskly toward them across the snowy tracks. It was Uncle Herbert. Uncle Herbert! It was so good to see him. They'd only just met him today, but it felt like seeing an old friend. He was carrying a clipboard and wearing a dorky conductor's hat and a bright yellow parka to match his yellow suit. He stopped and looked up at them. "Kate, Uncle Tom, good to see you. You made it this far." "Uncle Herbert!" "Uncle Herbert," Tom said. "We went through the woods and didn't crash, and then we saw a station, and it was full of animals, and they talked, and then the train talked." The Tom said this as one long continuous word. Uncle Herbert didn't look particularly as surprised at any of it. "How did you get here ahead of us?" Kate said. "More magic," Uncle Herbert said. "Listen, this is all a huge mistake. None of it was supposed to happen, or not yet at least. The train left much too soon. Maybe it had to. Maybe it couldn't wait. I don't know, but I don't like it. We'll be lucky if we don't all end up in the roundhouse. But it's too late. You can't go back. You'll just have to go forward and do your best. You've got a schedule to keep to now." "Wait, we do?" Kate said. "We need to put together a train for you right away. Fortunately, no one's come through here for years, so they got just about everything in stock. The cars do a lot." "Cars? Do you mean like train cars?" "Yes." "You're really going to just give us a bunch of train cars?" As with overly round numbers, experience had taught Kate to be suspicious of people offering her free stuff. "I gave you a steam engine, didn't I? Okay, what are the choices?" "It doesn't work like that. This isn't a restaurant. You're not ordering off a menu. It's your train. You have to make it up." Kate and Tom glanced at each other. "May I suggest," Uncle said delicately, "that you begin with some passenger cars?" He did actually sound like a waiter at a fancy restaurant. "Sure," Kate said. "Sounds good." "Yeah," said Tom. "2 passenger cars?" "Great," Kate said. 2 passenger cars." Excellent. What else? What other kinds of train cars were there? Her mind went completely blank. She really was not one of those kids who was super into trains. Dining car? Dining car. Good. Uncle Herbert wrote it down on his clipboard. Kate couldn't think of anything else. Tom, you pick something. We could have 2 dining cars? What's the point of that? Like 2 different restaurants. If we got bored of one, we could go into the other. Kate thought that was ridiculous, but Uncle Herbert wrote it down too. Second dining car. Good. We need a kitchen car to go with it. 2 kitchen cars. Tom was getting into it. Okay, what else? There was a long set. A sleeper car. Kate said, that's a thing, right? Sleeper car. I can't think of anything else. Yes, Uncle Herbert said, you can. Kate thought of something. It was silly, but she couldn't come up with anything else. I would like a library car, she said. Like a car that's all full of books, with big leather chairs and things where you can go and just read. She was a little bit embarrassed, but Uncle Herbert didn't turn a hair. Library car, he wrote down. What else? Movie car. No movie car. What? You can watch movies at home. But she got a library car. And I'm sure she'll let you use it. This is such a ripoff. Fine, I'll give you your money back. Or wait, that's right, you didn't give me any money. You're getting a completely free train. I want a weapons car then. 2 weapon cars. 1 for swords, 1 for guns. No. Video? No. Enter? Nope. Nope. Fine. Tom folded his arms. I would like a candy car. That's my final offer. A candy car? Uncle Herbert looked so shocked that Kate laughed. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Oh, come on, Tom said. It'd be awesome. I'm kidding, Uncle Herbert said. You can totally have a candy car. What else? A swimming pool car, Kate said. It was worth the try, especially if candy cars were a thing. Why not? All right, she said. Read that back. 2 passenger cars, 2 dining cars, 2 kitchen cars, a sleeper car, a library car, a candy car, a swimming pool car. 2, 4, 10 cars. That seems about right. Maybe a tiny bit short. Let's have a flat car, Tom said. Like just plain. We can stand there and pretend we're surfing. And we can have box cars too. Train always have box cars. Uncle Herbert wrote it on his clipboard. I think, Kate said, we should have a mystery car. Like we don't know what's in it, but it's something cool. She thought she was pushing her luck with that one, but he wrote it down with the rest. That's all I've got, Kate said. Me too. Needs one more thing, Uncle Herbert said. What? Come on, every train has one. Oh, a caboose. Now you're done. He turned to go. Uncle Herbert? Tom looked like he had a thought that was he tried hard to formulate into a question. Why are we here? You mean here in the train yard? No, I mean, why are we on a train in the middle of nowhere? Where are we going? It wasn't for a question. Kate wondered why she hadn't thought to ask herself. She had the dizzy feeling of being caught up in something much larger than she realized. Like she was a player in an enormous game that she didn't know the rules of yet. Or like she'd happened to glance out of the window of a building and discovered that she was much, much higher than she'd realized. You're going on an adventure, Uncle Herbert said. Isn't that what you wanted? Yeah. Uncle Herbert didn't look completely satisfied with it. Tom didn't look completely satisfied with that. But Uncle Herbert just waved the clipboard. I'll get this up to the dispatcher. Just remember, keep the water tank full and never let the fire go out. And keep the eye out for the twilight star. He turned to go and then stopped again, peering up at them in the darkness. Wait a second, something's wrong. You look floppy droopy. His lack of experience with children was showing again. We're tired, Uncle Herbert, Kate said. It's really late. As soon as she said it, she yawned. Oh, he rubbed his chin. That's right. Probably past your bedtime. Why don't we hitch up the passenger cars and the sleeper car and you can go to bed? Like sleep here on the train? What about Mom and Dad? I'll explain it to them. They're going to go mental, Tom said. You'll realize that, like, they will literally take leave of their actual senses. Might be good for them, Uncle Herbert said. They're too much saying, those two. Night night. With that, he walked away, presumably to go find the dispatcher, whoever that was. Suddenly, Kate could barely keep her eyes open. She had no idea she was so exhausted. It was late, and about 2 months' worth of stuff had happened to her in one day, and it was all catching up with her at once. She sat on her little fold-down seat and leaned against the wall and closed her eyes. She wondered what Uncle Herbert had meant when he said about magic. It was impossible. There was no such thing, but at the same time, it didn't seem like the kind of thing you just said. And evidence to the contrary was mounting up like snow in a blizzard. More wisdom from Grace Hopper floated through her mind. If they put you down somewhere with nothing to do, go to sleep. You don't know when you'll get any more. Kate couldn't have said how much time passed before she felt a gentle bump. That must be the first passenger car being hitched up, she thought, without opening her eyes. And then bump, passenger car number 2. I hope the animals will like them, she thought, and then bump. That must be the sleeper car. As if in a dream, she and Tom climbed out of the cab. They barely even noticed the click-bing of the train saying good night. It was beyond strange, being out in the middle of the night in a rail yard that shouldn't have existed, in a winter that should have been summer. But Kate was too tired to care. The night air was freezing, and the ground was covered in a mix of snow and gravel that was extremely painful to walk on in bare feet. Train cars loomed over them, big as houses, casting sharp black shadows in the artificial light. Past the passenger cars, they found the sleeper car. It was painted a comforting cream color, like ivory or very fancy paper. It had 2 doors, one at each end. The first door had Tom neatly lettered on it. The second said Kate. When Kate got to her door, it opened automatically and clever little metal steps folded down, much easier than getting into the engine. Inside it was warm, and the lights were dim. On one wall was a little sink with a mirror over it. Next to that was a hook with a soft white towel hanging on it and a holder for an enamel cup with a toothbrush and toothpaste in it. Everything was ever so slightly miniaturized to fit in a train compartment. It was like being a doll in a very expensive dollhouse. There was a closet with a soft Kate-sized robe and slippers already in it, and a little drawer for a pair of neatly folded blue and white striped flannel pajamas. Whoever had put all this together was extremely well organized, Kate thought. She was so tired, she was just splashing some water on her face and it dried with the towel. The pajamas felt cool, soft, and clean. She didn't brush her teeth because what was even the point of getting to sleep on a magic train if you had to brush your teeth? There was a little bed that folded down from the wall with the little bookshelf next to it in case you wanted to read before you sleep. With ordinary, she might have done, but not tonight. She was too tired even to read. She turned out the light, snugged the blanket up over her, and took a deep, contented breath. The sleep car smelled like clean linen and scented wood. There was a window over the bed so you could look up and see the stars. A tiny door opened in one wall. Tom's face peered through from the other half of the sleeper. Hey, he said. Pretty nice, right? So awesome. Tom paused for a second. Hey, is it okay if I leave this open? Sometimes she forgot that Tom was 2 years younger than she was. She'd never even been on a sleepover, except with their grandparents. And now he was going to sleep on a talking train in the middle of a mysterious rail yard. It might even make her feel better, too. Definitely okay. Good night, Tom. Good night. Kate closed her eyes and slept.